Hello, this is a video series I'm recording for a website I built called Slough Volunteers. The URL for the website is www.sloughvolunteers.org.uk. As the name suggests, it's been built voluntarily and it's intended to be a social network for volunteers and in Slough to try and make life a little bit more cohesive. So there's an online core to the volunteering processes in Slough. So if I just start up Google Chrome, it's set up to automatically go to the Slough Volunteers website, and there you are, you can see it there, and that's what the front page looks like. Now there's some basic information there about what the site is and how to join, and then as you can see there's kind of two areas. There's the left hand side and the right hand side. So what we'll do is I'll explore all the left hand side here and tell you what each of these are doing, and then we'll come over to the right hand side and I'll tell you what that is. There's not much there, and then we'll just sign in, and you can sign in with your Facebook credentials, and that will then give access to the whole online version of the site, so that you can see all the different features of it. Okay, so this is the home page. If you just click there, it will bring you back there. That link there is to the mobile home page, so that's the page that you arrive at if you come to the site from a mobile device. This one is some legalities, so if I just click that, basically I dreamed up a privacy policy which you can read through, and I also created some terms and conditions, and I believe I set it up so that the first time you ever log into the site you're presented with the terms and conditions and you have to accept them. Okay, so there's quite a bit of information there, and obviously I won't go through all of that now. Site details, that's basically some information about accessibility. If you're not sure what accessibility is, it's the techniques that are used to make computer systems more usable by people who might have some sort of impairment, like maybe a visual impairment or an auditory impairment or something like that. And so we have a bit of an accessibility policy where we explain how we make the site more accessible for people who might have issues in that regard. And then the next one was language support. Now basically Google provides a translation service which translates websites into something like 58 different languages. I'm not sure how good it is in terms of the quality of the translations that it produces, but what we can do is just show you quickly. Over here on the right is the Google Chrome translation. So if we translate it into Bulgarian, that presumably is Bulgarian. So we just switch it back to the original, and then of course there's 58 different languages, everything from, you can see, Arabic. See? So presumably it's easier for some people to read the site in their own language than it is in English, so that's why we've put that there. The next one is some important issues. These are just some things I've listed, like little quirks on the site. Maybe, I think there's 6 of them, and you don't have to read that, but you can if you have the time. And the other part is that browsers, basically this is the order that I recommend browsers for this site in. Ethically I'll probably go with Firefox, but Google Chrome is slightly faster, maybe. And don't know if you've heard of Opera. That's Safari, and then Internet Explorer is, in theory, the least compatible of the browsers with this website. So that's the one we recommend least for use with this site. Volunteering opportunities. Now, obviously, at the moment, it's basically just me on this site. So what we're going to do, I've only got one listed here at the moment, but there's going to be a whole bunch of roles that people can take on the site if they want to help with it. Things like group moderation, stuff like that. And so the one that's on there at the moment is Quizmaster. Basically, within the site, there's a monthly quiz that we can run, where the Quizmaster makes up some questions, and members of the site compete to answer them. And the one that gets all the right answers, or gets the most answers right per month, will be listed and can then be given an accolade of some sort. And so that's just a fun part of the what's going on within the site. I mean, that's obviously not a essential part of the site, it's just a fun feature. Okay, so the volunteers can all answer the quiz questions. I mean, I don't know what the questions could be. How many players are there on a football team? What's the capital of Greece? These kind of questions, or whatever they want to make up. So that's that. Then if you want to apply for a voluntary role, so bear in mind there'll be 4 or 5, maybe up to 10 roles available there. There's just an online application form there which you fill in, and that then gets submitted to someone in the administration role, and they will then have the information on that person, and the important part is to specify what role they've applied for. So if it's Quizmaster, put it in there, and then the start date and all that kind of thing. I think there's referees, I may take that out, I don't know why that's there really, and then you can copy in your resume if you want, or if you're not known, if they don't know about you. So that's that. Then there's the donor list, which is basically some I've put about £1,000 into this site. That's not money I've just had to throw about. Basically it came down to when I first started building this site, I picked quite an expensive hosting provider. I think it was about £70 a month, and it over 5 or 6 months it added up to quite a bit of money. So I decided to change that and switched over to DigitalOcean, which is much cheaper but also very good technically, and it provides everything that I need for this site. So the bulk of that money there was in the initial phases when when the hosting that I picked was more expensive, and that's that. Tutorials, that's going to be a link to this tutorial online on YouTube, but viewable on this site. Crowdfunding. The idea is basically to have the option to do crowdfunding. So this is a campaign for raising money to have an online social network in Slough, and people can just put their details in and donate through PayPal. It's not live yet because we haven't set up the PayPal account that can receive it, but once that gets the go ahead, then people will be able to donate to that campaign, and we can set up different campaigns. So if there's something we want to do in terms of buddying, there used to be a buddy project in Slough where people would meet and stuff like that, then we could potentially crowdfund that. So that's it. So that's the reception area. Okay, I've whizzed through that. The next part is the video vault. So this is basically an area of the site where people can upload or link to their YouTube videos and various other providers, but let's just say YouTube because it keeps it simple. What we do is we click on the Video Vault channels, and you can see I've set up, I had some trial runs of these tutorials so that I figured out basically what I wanted to say, and I put these here, and so you can see these are the original versions of these tutorials that I've now refined or am refining for the real ones. And so you can see they're just videos that you click on there, and that's what we call a video vault. And you can create categories and have music videos or any other video you want to put there. The other public part is the blog store. So basically we have bloggers. There's been a few blogs written, but basically you can click on the blogger's image and that will take you to their homepage. Now those of you who have seen WordPress might realise that, wow, that's WordPress running there. I thought this was a Joomla site, but you can actually do that. There's tools available to help you run WordPress within Joomla. So basically you get the best blogging platform running within at least one of the best content management systems, and so you get the best of both worlds in theory. So these are some of the blogs I've written. So there's one called The Mountain which is just a little blog about some of the things I think about the social stuff that's going on and religions and everything. And so when you're within the site and logged in, and if you're authorized as a blogger, you'll be able to write your own blogs and just have them appear here, and then people can read them. This little widget here is merely a counter, and what it actually counts is the number of logins to the website. So it's not number of visitors, it's the number of times that you've actually logged in. Like it says visitor counter there, I've set it up so that it only counts logins. So there's been 945 logins since I last reset this, and that's in, I presume that's over about 2 or 3 months now. This is just a thing for Facebook. If you want to share the URL for this on Facebook, you can do that by clicking there. These are just, so we're over onto the right hand side now. That was the left hand side. The right hand side, these are just links to the various social networks. So you click on that, you go to Facebook, you click on that, you go to Twitter, and so on. The IP address, that's the IP address of your client machine. Just put that there for fun, really. Time and date. Then you have the login widget. If it's your first time to the site, you can sign in with Facebook, and then what will happen is you just use your Facebook email and password, and that will send a message to our administrators saying, do we accept this person as a member of the site? And once we do that, I think you have to, once we do that, you'll be able to then log in just by clicking sign in with Facebook. Okay? If you want to register another way, if you don't have a Facebook account, you could just click on register here, and that takes you to the more traditional way of registering for the site. Okay, so there's when you do it the traditional way, you have to give a bit more information. Basically you have the captcha at the top there, so you fill that in, then you put your details in. The mandatory fields are the ones marked with a yellow. Okay, so if they've got a yellow mark by them, that means that you have to fill those in. And then you just select your community role. And obviously if you just sign in with Facebook, that won't have been set up on your profile, so just to remember that if you're a health trainer or volunteer supervisor or whatever, you need to select those things. And then just fill these things in. Do you want the monthly newsletter? How you help in Slough? Another security code. Double check there. And then accept terms and conditions and register. And then we will also have to approve that registration, and then you will be a member. If you register through this means, you can then link your account to Facebook if you want. So if you register in this way and then you want to use say you then get a Facebook account and you want to use that to log in, it will say here link to Facebook. So you might have a completely different username and password that you've set up with, but if you link it to Facebook, then you can just sign in with your Facebook, okay? Then there's the language widget that we described earlier, and you can just select your language there. And that is a basic overview of the public area of Slough Volunteers community website. In part 2 we shall log in and see what's inside. Okay, thank you very much.